Welcome back to coverage of Windmill 2018. Brought to you by ulti.TV. Got a spicy matchup in the Swiss draw format, giving us two teams that many expect to go far in this tournament. Swashbuckling youngsters from the Netherlands, GRUT, and perennial UK powerhouse Reading. Ben Ort's going to shoot deep. That's going to be underthrown though, and they're going to see an awful lot of Ort shooting deep. It's part of GRUT's rather expansive style. We'd like to keep it interesting, certainly. Benjamin Reese in the commentary booth here for this one. Delighted to be joined once more by Hilary Humes.
Benji, I'm so excited for this game. This is going to be a showdown. Sorry for interrupting you. This is going to be an absolute showdown of the best mixed teams. I've heard so much about both of these teams. I've seen Reading play as opens and women's teams separately. They were incredible. And here we have...
Throw pops off Hunter's hands. Byford's there to mop it up. The wind causing havoc. It's really blustery at the moment. Hunter gets free down that open side on the far end of the pitch. Looking for a swing off to Sam Gunby. Such a big throw. What's he got in his arsenal? Fakes the around. Looks for Godbold on the swing. The only member of this team who's not going to be representing at the World Championships, but he's doing a fine enough job filling in here.
And they're ecstatic already.
Finds McNeil on the break side, and Reading didn't do it the cleanest of points, but a hold's a hold, and they're going to take a 1-0 lead to start.
A clean hold certainly doesn't matter at these early moments right now. It's just getting those points on the board. For them, it's been a long day. Do you know their results coming into this at all, Benji?
So both sides are unbeaten coming in, and they've both had pretty handy wins in both of them. I don't have the exact scorelines to hand right now, but yeah, this is exciting. GRUT definitely the younger side, but that's not to say they're the underdogs by any stretch. They're many people's favourites to win this weekend. They're the reigning champions here at Windmill and at the European Championships.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the notes that we have for this team, GRUT, and their goal for this season is to win every single game, and that's all they've put down there. That's a pretty feisty thing to say.
It's a bold strategy, Hilary. Let's see if it pays off.
Well, we certainly got a game for ourselves today.
I mean, it's hard to single out specific players to watch because they're all really good, but on the male side, Ben Ort, who's been playing in the AODL up in Canada, is a big player to watch. Thierry Artes, who's a bit more of a steadying presence, is also strong for them on the female side. Flor Coularts and Lola Dam are definitely also players to look out for. Coularts has been carrying an injury though, so I'm not entirely sure how healthy she is this weekend.
GRUT, and they formed in 2013, so they've had lots of years to build chemistry. And I was just reading that they only train about every 5 weeks at the moment, given the season. That's incredible considering how well they play as a team, only training every 5 weeks. It's remarkable how they build such chemistry and connection on the field.
I think it's probably because they've been playing together for so long. And for example, lots of the women on the side were part of the Dutch under-20 side that won the women's under-20 division at EYUC last year, and had pretty good performances at Tom's tourney as well earlier in the season. And certainly they're not a side to be underestimated by any stretch of the imagination. Reading making a good move here, just trying to slow them down with the zone. They can get a little bit hot-headed and impatient in time, so I like this strategy, just take the wind out of their sails a little bit.
Yeah, it's certainly slowing them down, but I don't think that they're too worried. They're just comfortably moving it between their handlers.
They show nice patience at the moment. Here's Walt Janssen. Fakes around and squeeze it down that sideline to Van der Weyden. Trying to find an option. Oh, that throw pops up and good focus. Gathered at the second attempt by Niels Boom.
I mean, that's one way to catch a disc. Just bobble it and then let it come into your hands.
With no one around you, you can take the time to do that with us on the marks. Nice little push pass there to Janssen. Thinks about the deep. So it's going to take the reset. Back off to Anne Minard. Still there as a reset. That's it.
You can't deny that, that's for sure.
So GRUT will get back to trying to dismantle this Reading zone. Minard's trying to fake them around. Oh, and just a little drop, maybe looking the other way when the throw came, and this is fantastic field position for Reading. Bex Palmer's going to pick it up. She's a throw, partly quite in the GRUT mold, ready to take these expansive shots. Instead takes the other side to Bolt. No, his hand is going to get hand blocked. And a foul called. I think the block was clean, but maybe when he was trying to save possession, he felt a bit of contact. That was brilliant. Just he saw exactly what he wanted, and Nils Boom was like, I do not think that is going to happen.
That was an incredible block, as we just see in the replay there. He had clean 2 hands up high. He recognized that that was going out for a hammer, and he just smashed all opportunities for that disc to even be released. It's tough from our perspective, but I personally thought it was a clean block, and whether he thought that there was a bit of contact on the way down as they hit the ground, I'm not too sure.
So the foul call is retracted, so the disc is going to stay with GRUT.
Very nice hand signaling there from Harry Mason on the Reading team.
Yeah, clearly, I like the way he had a little look at the commentary booth. He knows exactly how difficult it can be sometimes to...
As a fellow commentator, he totally understands the situation that we're in when we're trying to dictate what's happening on the field, when it's just people talking without their hand signals.
It can get pretty tricky.
He certainly gets the spirit points for good communication and rules knowledge.
Defender came in and now leaves space in behind, and they work it up that far side channel. Here's Janssen.
I mean, they're just working down that sideline, but it's working for them. It's often you say get away from the sideline, but for them, I think it's stay there and just keep doing what you're doing.
They're happy to take the space wherever Reading are giving it to them. If it's on the sideline, then so be it. Got Minard wide open as the dump, and it's going to take her eventually. And then just, again, dishing it towards that far sideline. It's not a concerted effort to trap them there. Reading staying patient with this zone.
Yeah, very patient, and that's all you need, and particularly in these weather conditions. The wind is picking up now, just like it was this morning. It was about 27 kilometers per hour this morning. I fear it's probably the same. But GRUT just look very comfortable, just moving it around, not, you know, trying to rush it, just taking one pass at a time.
Going all the way across the field, but there's no continuation that comes downfield, and there's a call on this near sideline. I think maybe saying that he was out of bounds, perhaps. Helen Roberts is the closest Reading player.
Travel call.
That's a travel. So everyone's going to get back into their previous positions. And I say GRUT get off to the races again, but they don't. They keep it nice and slow and patient, which is not usually their MO, it has to be said. So he's about squeezing it in there, and Ted's just going to reset. There's a play that comes. Oh, Bex Palmer's there, a split second too late. And they squeeze it into Nils Boom, and GRUT tie things up at 1 goal apiece.
That was really nicely played by GRUT. They just so comfortable in their slow passes and just taking it easy, very patient.
Will, can you get my phone from the tent, please?
We just see here in the replay, GRUT just waiting for that opportunity to come, and Bex Palmer, she was there, she could see it happening, but wasn't close enough to get a fingertip on, even on the disc.
So you were asking a little earlier about results for these two teams coming into this game. If you are watching at home and you want to see what's been going on, you can follow it on the Windmill League Vine page. It's got all the results and the Swiss standings or whatever. So going into this game, in terms of the Swiss standings, these are the 3rd and 4th ranked teams. Smog and Colorado are the top 2. I'll see the results later as Morrison starts with a centering pass to Anya Godbold. The previous point, but that time burnt deep by Roberts, and Reading seeming to say, anything you can do, I can do better. Get the underneath pass and then just immediately pound it deep, and it's going to get the goal. So tied up, back up now at 2 apiece.
Neck and neck. I mean, this is the type of ultimate we came out here to see today. I mean, these two teams are so well trained. They know each other so well. Reading has such a huge club. I mean, this year alone, they took a photo at the UKU Tour 1 tournament and they had 110 players.
It's ridiculous. It's a little bit ridiculous.
I mean, that says a lot about a club, and for one, that says that there's quite a big loyalty and a lot of people want to play for them, but it also means that they've got a great development squad, that they're actually developing players and giving them opportunities to play at these high levels. Really exciting stuff.
And for the open tours, they've been shifting players around so that some of their younger players get a chance to develop with their more senior throwers and players, which is a good thing. It seems to be really helped their depth as an entire program without sacrificing the top.
Oh,
Great
great defensive.
Oh, big
play.
throw from Floor Kularts. Mason's in coverage. Oh, it's just going to go over his head. Janssen makes the grab. Looking for a follow-up option. Looking around, he's going to take the reset back off. He wants to shoot for the goal. He's going to pivot around with the backhand and find Janssen once more, doing a lot of leg work at that point.
And GRUT get the break.
3-2 up, GRUT at the moment. Reading starting offense, so as Louis mentioned, GRUT 1 break to the good.
I'm hoping the crew are getting the guy on the field dancing, because that was really entertaining.
There's a lot of hype around, in the air at the moment. It's good, it's exciting stuff. It's interesting because I think I'm debating whether GRUT are mainly too young to be classed as millennials. But they might be about the only team here who Win Millennials does not actually qualify.
What do you think the average age of the GRUT team is?
Oh, let me do some thinking, because they've got a couple of older players, but it's probably around 19, 20. Yes, I know, it's disgusting, isn't it?
Wow. They are incredibly young.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, what a shot. Rolling back into Sam
that is
Gunby.
nice.
Right on the money.
That is some cheeky stuff there. Very sweet.
Well executed by McNeil. And so Reading tie things back up now at 3-all. And this game's going to have so much back and forth. It's going to be a fun matchup. It's going to be a very fun matchup.
It's interesting with GRUT. I mean, often you find that when teams are full of young people, there's a different sort of mental capacity there, and their behavior is slightly different. Their attitudes are different for good reasons and for bad reasons. Sometimes, you know, experienced players, some of the older players know how to cope really well in those really tight games, in those tough conditions, and those moments that are really crucial. But so far, GRUT have just held their force, and they just know exactly what they're doing, and they're really just playing their own game. I'm really impressed to see them. And I'm absolutely, I'm so jealous the fact that they're so young and they're such a strong team.
It's because they've been here before. They won Windmill last year. They've won the European Championships. Many of them have taken home medals at EYUC. That's a shot going up. Oh, Janssen's got behind the defense, but the throw's going to get the wrong edge on it, and it's going to harmlessly tail out of bounds. Parma and Tobiasevic were following it up. And there's a break chance for Reading to get back on serve here. Palmer will bring in the disc. Trying to squeeze up the line to Bolton.
I love that both Palmer and Tabayashevich was both chasing down that disc. Like either one of them could have been there to get it.
Rabbits is going to put it deep, looking for Tabayashevich.
Oh!
Just enough on the defense by Janssen is going to take it away.
It was almost like he had it in his hands and he pushed it down to the ground.
And Tabayashevich's got hands so he couldn't catch it. And now Janssen's going to shoot deep, looking for Kularts. Is she going to get there before the back of the end zone does? And it's just going to tail and hit a tree out the back in between the tents.
Oh, and there you go. I mean, a downwind throw, you put anything on it and it's just going to shoot for miles. So you just got to be careful.
It's a little bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card for Reading, though Kularts definitely has steps and separation. As to be fair, she seems to do pretty much 100% of the time. Yeah,
I mean, she's incredibly speedy, and she just takes off, and there she's free.
I don't think it's a stretch to say she's one of, if not the best young player in Europe. Roberts catches a contested under, and it's Kularts once again who's in coverage. Denalik goes down that far sideline. Rabbits comes underneath. Oh, nice shake and bake in the handler space.
That was very nice. Great footwork there.
Oh, trying to laser hammer to the far side of the field is Bolton, but it's going to helix back and released it too flat. Maybe worried about the wind, and the wind was like, I'm just going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is the wind is playing its own game here.
And there's how you do it. That's a nice hammer. He's
showing them how it's done. Oh, a huge backhand.
That is spicy, and in the end just tails over both of them. Denalik held her line well, didn't allow Minards to push her towards the sideline. And
yeah, she really just kept that line so straight, and she could see that that disc was floating over and had a bit of a curve to it. I mean, that could have easily gotten into the hands of Denalik, but the fact that she was there and just holding her force, holding her line, did not allow the group play to get it. Really great defense there. I mean, that's the thing. You don't give up when that disc goes up. You always stick with your player because you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, and a miscommunication on the swing. Palmer was going upfield and Roberts thought she was going to go back, and it's a simple just tap to the ground for Janne Janssen. And then bang, pivots for the inside backhand to floor Kularts, and GRUT do hold. Reading made them work for it, but they couldn't capitalize on those mistakes, and eventually GRUT punch it in for a 4-3 lead. You cannot keep giving quick chances because eventually they're going to get them. And they're so potent normally. Giving them more chances than they need is a silly strategy.
So just in comparison to Reading and their average age, I mean, they've got players, they're probably, average age is probably mid-20s, mid-20s sort of thing. Their youngest is 21 years old. I mean, I don't even think there's someone that age on the GRUT team.
There are a couple.
A couple, okay.
But yeah, the majority of that team was playing in various divisions at the youth at EYUC last year, which tells you a lot about this team. And how frustratingly good they are at such a young age.
That's right. It's frustrating, isn't it? Because you just think, like, when you bring the best of the youth together, this is what you're going to get.
Oh.
And even up against every single, tough mixed player.
Just a little word about that pool. It was curving back inbounds, but never quite made it. Just a couple of feet short, and so this is going to be excellent field position for Reading, doing the right thing of taking it down the pitch. Yeah,
it was very close, so it almost came back in, actually. It was right on the line as it landed.
So Godbold picks up, immediately going to swing it into Morrison. Fakes the around. High release to Dan Godbold. Naden comes underneath. Bit congested in the middle, looking for the around, break to Anya Godbold. Oh, can't get her feet right, and maybe thinking too much about that, can't make the catch, and so...
I think there just wasn't enough space between the handler and the cutter because she was looking for a nice big forehand flick, and there just wasn't that space to put it out there. She needed to make it a little bit flatter, and that angle just came out too much.
So break chance for GRUT, and Artes swings into the center. Here's Dam. Benoit initiates underneath, makes the catch in front of Bryford. He's got that far sideline, and you can see them wind up for the big fakes. Here's Artes. We'll take the little swing to Dunn. Here's Dam. Trying to find Dunn down the line, but the throw is always too low. Never really got going, and he's going to give Reading a break chance. And Dan Godbol's going to stride over and pick it up. With the other half, Anya also in the backfield. Oh, tiny touch too far, but not a problem. For a player of Godbol's quality. Manil's going to put it deep, looking for Nain. Defender sees it lane, and it's, oh, just off her hands. Maybe she's gone full bid for it. She might have been able to make the catch, but it's so difficult to do that with the defender right on your shoulder. Nice coverage there from Marcia Coulin.
Yeah, you're right there, Benji. I mean, it's so tough to grab those discs when you've got that pressure of a defender right there with you, and you kind of want that freedom and that space to grab it easily. But it was moving so quickly anyway. It's sometimes just so difficult.
Artes starts by swinging to that far sideline for Stenica. And Artes is going to get it back. Here's Dunn.
This has been a really long point already. There's been lots of turnovers, but what I'm actually liking is both teams are still playing really good. I mean, it's just silly mistakes.
By Steenhuisen.
I mean, saves his team with a huge pick.
Yeah, that
from the bottom.
That throw from Dunn was blading towards the turf, but he had other ideas. Here's Dam coming underneath. Going to dish it back off to Artes. Thinking about the deep. He's going to take it. Pressure from McNeil, but...
Oh, that was excellently read. He was going to go deeper, but then he turned around and thought, no, this disc is slowing down. I need to grab it.
Got eyes on it early and was able to adjust. And the round break's going to go. It's going to be caught low again. First point of contact is outside the end zone. He caught it and then landed with his hands out, but he's going to find Dam for another GRUT break and a 5-3 lead. See what I mean about GRUT being a pretty exciting team to watch, Hillary?
Yeah, they are so ferocious. I'm really loving it.
So Reading a couple of breaks down now, and this is not what they would have wanted.
No, I mean, at the end of that point, I was thinking that they were still in it, but they just seem a little bit flat at the moment, and I'm not sure. I know they have the athleticism and the fitness. I mean, this is only the first day. This is their third, maybe fourth game.
Third game of the day for
these
these boys.
Third game of the day. I mean, they play tournaments like this all the time. They're just 2 points down. Perhaps it's the fact that they're pitched up against the reigning champions that's setting them off.
So Reading try out another row line. It's going to be 4 women aside this time. Ball goes up from Tiedates. Gumby's going to make the catch, sends it to Godbold. Going to dish it back off for Gumby. Oh, let it run a little bit. I think he wanted the deep as soon as he caught it, but it wasn't there. Good defense downfield from GRUT. Here's Godbold putting it deep, looking for Roberts. It's going to sit. Can she get there? It was always a touch too far, and she can never quite set herself to get a bid in. They're going to put that one deep, looking for Dam. Oh, nice catch above her head. Takes a sensible option, resets it back, and Artes is jinking around in the handler space, gets free on that cut. Gesturing again what he wants. He's got Rice post on this near side, eventually takes the swing. Underneath goes to Dam. Nice around break.
Too easy for them.
Godbold gives it up, and Claire Dunn makes the catch, and that's a couple in a row now. 3 on the bounce, actually, in fact.
It's 3 in a row. I mean, that makes it 6-3. It's probably time that Reading calls a timeout just to reset.
Yeah, this is we don't usually see this happen from Reading, give up this many points in a row. But that's just the firepower of GRUT that and constantly put fresh legs on, and they're all going to stretch you in various different ways. They're never going to make it easy for you. And
they're like, you know, a toilet paper on a roll. When you drop it and it just keeps on rolling and rolling, you can't stop it. That's kind of like how GRUT are at the moment.
Interesting analogy. I see what you mean.
If you catch my drift, though, I mean, you just can't stop them. Every time you try and get closer to pull them back in, they just get further and further away. So this is what's happening out here. I mean, it's just the force of this team is absolutely impressive. I believe that Reading, though, can absolutely smash them as well. They just need to build up their confidence and make a few.
So that's much better from Reading, closing the gap. Still 6-4 down, but plenty of time left in this game, of course. And what a game it promises to be as well.
We're just seeing the replay here. It's just textbook ultimate. I mean, Bex Palmer had the disc on the far side of the field, and she chose to swing it to the middle to center it. That Reading player was in a power position and got it off into the close side of the field.
So do you want a little bit of news about what we've got coming up in the final round of games?
Yeah, I'd love to hear that from you,
So we got some women's action on this field in what is going to be, again, another flavourful matchup. French powerhouse Yaka against the reigning European national champions Atletico. Meanwhile, on field 6 behind us, going back to the open division with Dublin's Ranelagh taking on the French champion Shaq. So
that'll be a very exciting game.
It should be good stuff. It should be good stuff.
I mean, that's the beauty of the Swiss draw, isn't it? Every single game.
Every game's good stuff.
Is good stuff, and that's what we were here to do. And that's why you love it, isn't it, Benji? That's why you love the Swiss draw.
Freaking love the Swiss draw. All hail to the almighty algorithm.
Do not curse the algorithm, or you shall pay.
He is blessed and he is wise.
Oh, it's a he, is it?
Oh, I mean, it's Tim who tells us what's going on, so yes. Although
thank you, Tim.
The algorithm, Tim and Elwin, I guess the algorithm is probably gender neutral.
Yes, chooses not to disclose what gender it is.
But it's going to go up. Oh, it's looking for Janssen. Tobiasevic gets there a split second too late.
And there's a foul called.
I think it maybe feels there was a bit too much contact as he went up. You could see Kenneth, who's taking the field for the first time this game, peel off deep as well.
We might even be able to see it on this replay here. It almost looked like they both had control of the disc as they caught it. As you see there.
Maybe that's the call. It didn't seem like there was much contact.
Didn't seem like there was contact. Perhaps they need to be calling a strip.
There needs to be more differentiation between the strip and... There needs to be any differentiation between strip and foul hand signals. So retracted. And disc is going to stay with GRUT. Max Tobiasevic checks in. Here's Minard. Looking around for an option. This is good coverage. Gets the right side of Withers there to get the dump. Van der Weyden.
I mean, GRUT are being sent back, but it's not a bad option. They're just safely moving the disc between the handlers, just waiting for that option to come. But it's really tight defense from Reading.
Gives you more deep space to attack. You can see your cuts it from a bit deeper then as well. Trying to squeeze in this near cone, and swing goes back to Minard. And now centered. This is fast.
Oh, amazing hands there. Just reach out in front.
Rapid reactions from Janne Janssen. Blade to the break side for Walt Janssen, and that's going to stick there for GRUT.
I think that really kind of, you know, caught Reading off guard. They didn't think that GRUT player was going to get that disc, and she did. Dishes it back to her handler to get that blade across. And
with the things with GRUT is that you have to expect everything, because it's not like they throw it occasionally. They throw it at a reasonable pace. They like doing this expansive stuff. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's how they want to play.
There's one thing for sure, is that you can't just go out there expecting that they're going to drop the disc or they're going to throw it away, regardless of the weather conditions. They're going to put up really nice, nifty little passes, and they're going to have mad reflexes, as we just saw. So you can't expect anything but the best from them.
Benji Reese and Hilary Humes up here in the commentary, the glamorous commentary scaffold. One more game after this today, which we mentioned on this field, is Atletico. And we've got Ranelagh's Shaq going on behind us in the next round. Currently back there, more mixed division action with Shenanigans taking on SEE 6. Well, SEE 6 currently 7-5 to the good.
I like the combination of that team. It's a dark black kit versus a very colourful rainbow kit.
The most garish kit you can possibly imagine.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, if do they have another strip? Is it just one colour because that's all they've got? They've got the rainbow.
That's a nice deep shot. Oh, it's going to float for so long. That's a beautiful put. Absolute money. You can take that all the way to the bank. And
it was like floating on a
there.
lily pond. It was just sitting there perfectly like a flower, just waiting for someone to pick it out of the air. I mean, that was fabulous from Reading.
Just seeing a previous replay there. And that was nice from Reading. These energizing plays are going to help them get more of a foothold in this game. So 7-5 to GRUT, the current score. Reading will see if they can earn back a couple of breaks before half-time. GRUT are up in the dictating end zone, so for this half it's going to be the left-hand end zone on your camera and the right-hand end zone for the second half, and GRUT's choosing to put 4 women on. Now, both of these teams actually happy to play 4 women or 4 men. Both have a lot of depth in either gender, which is good to see. So many teams, the default is they will always play 4 men and never utilize their women, and that's so frustrating to see. And this is why these teams are so fun to watch, because they don't do that. They do use their women, and they use them
both.
so effectively.
Yeah, I think they use both genders very effectively, and they use them to their strengths as well. And it's about just being fair across the board. But you know, you're giving your whole team a great run, and just it's so impressive to see these women out there just dominating the game.
Undercut comes there. Kenneth covers for a lot of ground to stop that from going. Van der Weyden thinks
Looks
about the
for
deep
long
shot.
and she shoots it.
Oh,
She
Rabbits
shoots.
in coverage. Oh, nice grab by Janssen, giving up a tiny bit of height to Rabbits.
Magical grab there.
Most people are losing the height matchup there, but found a tiny window to squeeze that one in and going to shoot across the far side of the end zone. Minard's not quite in, but she's going to dish it for the GRUT goal and an 8-5 half-time lead. Sensational stuff from GRUT. And that's why they're European and Windmill champions.
Truly magical. That was incredible. That grab that we saw. I mean, that's not just about, you don't just train for that. That is absolute pure athleticism. I mean, you're born being able to jump higher. You can train a little bit, but there's a point where it's just genetics. And I think this whole team has been blessed with the genetics of being really good athletes. It's incredibly unfair. And for Reading, I mean, they're pitched up against a team now that they have to learn how to break. The reigning champions, I mean, there's something in it. They're a young group. They've got loads of energy. And we see there's a halftime here for them to reset.
And it gets worse for Reading coming out of half-time because GRUT are receiving as well. So they can do the old 2 for none as well. 2 possessions and score them without even giving Reading a go with the disc, and that's a horrible position to be in. But this is peak GRUT. They've shown some nice patience at times, but their hallmark is this adrenaline-fueled, swashbuckling style of play, and it's 100 miles an hour, breakneck stuff, and it's so much fun to watch when it works, as it has done today.
It's so exciting to watch. And they've just got such a comfort in each other. I mean, we look at, for Reading, I really wonder what they said in that halftime circle. Benji, would there be anything that you would offer as advice to them?
I think just don't get downhearted by these big plays from GRUT, because so often you feel like they got away with it, and that can be a bit demoralizing when you feel that we should have got that and we didn't. But you need to say, look, this like obviously this is their style of play, but not necessarily eventually, but we back ourselves to get these Ds, and in this wins, a couple of these throws are probably going to go wrong, and we can force our way back into this if we play smart. So GRUT choosing the gender split for this point, and they're going to put 4 guys on. No, they're not. They're going to put 4 women on. Excuse me. Obviously, at half-time, the dictating end zone changes, so Now it's the end zone to the right of your screen, and Reading duly matched them.
And for Reading, they've now got a huge mountain to climb because they're coming out in defense here. And as we, have seen time and time again, GRUT can just easily score very quickly. It'd be interesting to see what type of defense they go, if it's single coverage one-on-one man or if they choose to do a zone.
The ball's going to go out of the sideline, so they're going to get a bit of chance to set up whatever it is they want to do, and it is just look like it's just going to be one-on-one defense.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to mark Van der Weeden. You see GRUT initiating their cuts really early, trying to open up space by the time the disc is already checked in. Here's Walt Janssen on the far sideline, going to roast it deep. Palmer's in coverage on Kularts, and oh, she got just enough pressure, flashed in there. Got in Kularts' peripheral vision, and that's maybe the first drop we've seen going deep from GRUT.
Yeah, I think that was uncharacteristic of that team. I mean, they're normally very sticky with their hands.
But that's what we talked about from Reading, is this expansive style of play can be a little bit risky at times.
Oh, and that was a nice shot, but very risky with a group defender nearby. But they're gaining meters.
They're going so quickly now, just not in any mood to hang about. Here's Mason, usually so solid with the disc, and he takes a sensible option there, resetting back to Kenneth and gets it back down towards the middle of the pitch. Oh, that throw pops up so slightly, but not a problem for Bex. Palmer got plenty of space to run it down.
I like the way that she also took a step back and then watched it from the side, that way giving her the most advantage to grab that down. She could have allowed that to go over her head.
Point block from Floor Kularts. Caught Kenneth going for the high release and slapped it away. So Reading can't pounce on that turn.
I don't think Kenneth was expecting that as well.
And maybe a little frustrated with the spacing of the offense. And
oh, he just had too much speed on him, and that Reading player just couldn't reel it in. He was there, but the pressure wasn't enough.
Yeah, Kularts couldn't catch the deep score, but she could throw it at that point. And GRUT do hold the first point in the half and take a 9-5 lead here.
There's not too much you can tell Reading to change, because I think the element of the game is that GRUT are just so tough on their defense. I mean, we just saw a beautiful hand block right there. I mean, that's hard to say don't get hand blocked, right? It's hard to say don't do it. But you can't break them so easily on defense as well. I mean, you just saw that was such a quick turnaround, and they scored so easily with a big huck down into the end zone.
And that, like, they love capitalizing off these quick turnovers and getting receivers in motion early, going deep and putting it out to space for them, because they're all such capable deep throwers. And it's so rare you find a team where you always have to watch the deep space, whoever's got the disc, because they all can put it, and they all can put it accurately. And it's as well as obviously being physically tiring, it's mentally tiring as well.
That's right. These big tournaments can be very mentally tiring, and particularly when you're just trying to, when you're pitched up against a team that's so much younger than you. If I was on Reading, I'd be, just thinking, gosh, these youngins, like, would they let us oldies have a turn?
These whippersnappers.
Yeah.
Isn't it past their bedtime, etc., etc.
Yeah.
That pull goes out towards the tents and is going to be bricked by Anya Gottbold. Horizontal setup for Reading. Trying to get Byford in motion early. It's going to collect it on an inside shot. Looking deep. Rolls back into the path of Naden. Thinks about the dish off to Bolton. Takes the reset, just beyond the defender to Byford.
It was very close, though.
Gottbold comes underneath with Rice on the mark. And she's going to blade a forehand to the backside of the end zone.
It's a honey pass, isn't it?
It is a honey pass. And that's nice for Reading as well. That's a nice spirit lifter. Reduce the deficit to 9-6. Yeah, honey pass is a term that I was only introduced to probably last year, but it's always nice when it happens, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we talk about chemistry and connections on field. If you're playing with your partner on a team, there's going to be an expectation that you're going to be looking, not necessarily looking for them, but you're going to have that sort of connection where you can understand where they're going to be cutting and reading, because you just spend so much time with them, and if you're going to be training together as well. I look forward to seeing a lot more of that from Reading.
So 9-6 the current scoreline. Benji Reese and Hilary Humes here with you at the wonderful Windmill tournament. Last round of the day for the mixed sides. We've got another open and women's round coming up after this, however, which you won't want to miss, because more Great Ultimate coming up, as they have. Windmill's just so good. The standard's so high, and the almighty algorithm cooks up great games. It's such a spectacle. Rabbits with the pull is going to sit and float and spend an age in the air, and Reading get a chance to chase it down. And
very nice pull there.
Would like to see them get down a little bit quicker, but they have hemmed GRUT into their own end zone.
And if they can just hold them there, they might actually be able to score a Callahan if they're lucky.
This is definitely Callahan country right here. With this, tries to find block on the mark, but instead the disc goes underneath. Nice inside shot there to Kularts. Van der Weeden. Here's Walt Janssen. Kularts takes off deep. Oh, fakes it this time.
Big fake.
Van der Weeden goes now, and Trice is going to squeeze it up the line. Does just about get it off. Tight coverage on the dump there. Again, tries to squeeze it up line. Guess they're just before Menslova can get there. Here's Minard. Again, just jamming it up that sideline the entire time, and going to be a stoppage here maybe? And it's going to be out of bounds. Couldn't quite toe that in, and so here's another break chance for Reading. They couldn't convert their first of the half, but we'll see if they can convert this one with us picking up.
They really need to capitalize on this moment, though. They're trapped, though, on this sideline. They will need to move it quickly.
It's going to be a zone on D from GRUT. Trying to stop that pass into the middle of the field, and Tavasavic calls the foul. It's going to be uncontested. Got a little bit of contact as he went to make that catch. It would not surprise me to see him look deep for Rabbits, winning that height matchup. Denali's in quite a lot of space downfield as well. Trying to force him towards that trap sideline. Oh, and the disc from Menslova's too far. Don't think Tavasavic was expecting that necessarily. Risa goes on to Van der Weeden. Here's Janssen. He's going to put it deep. Oh, this is a spicy one. Oh, Rabbits is so tall, and he's going to cover and help and get there. That is a bit unfair. He's so tall.
Look, you could say that it's unfair, but that's the nature of mixed. I mean, you can.
I mean, not even exclusively mixed. Any like
any tall person,
as
sure.
also a tiny person.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation multiple times, but like as a thrower, you shouldn't put it in a situation where you can have those tall defenders come off and get poach blocks.
That's right. These players know better, and I think that handler from GRUT knew straight away. He saw that go up, and it picked up a lot of wind for one.
Palmer goes to lay out for that one, but
couldn't get it.
Yeah, foul on the throw there, however. It's Kularts matched up against Withers, a little intergender matchup, spicy. Goes it for it again, and with no one near Palmer, she can make the catch comfortably. Going to blade towards the far side.
I like that
nice
look there
grab
from Palmer's confidence in that blade throw.
Yeah, Denalik smothers the disc with her left hand and brings it in. Here's Tobiasevic. Palmer's right in front of him. Going to shoot towards the back for Roberts. Zing!
Absolute bullet into the end zone. I love that. Palmer is such a confident handler.
Isn't she great?
She's excellent. You just give her the disc and you know she's going to put it into space where, you know, clean, flat discs that are easy to grab. That was a speedy one, but it was delightful.
So Reading get a break back. They're on the path to tightening this game up. 9-7 the scoreline now. We're going to have a look at the replay. With us looking at his options and just swings for this near side. Palmer's wide open in front of Tobiasevic, and she just zings it in there before the defender can cover. Lienenga's the closest defender, but she's not going to get there in any sort of time. And Roberts makes the catch, and so Reading get a break at 9-7. Exciting stuff. You feel that's good. Reading have shown now that they can get these breaks back. They're finally able to capitalize on some of these mistakes. That's a big confidence booster.
Yeah, they're closing their gap now. There's only 2 points between them. They just need to continue playing like the way that they've been doing, very fast. They can't slow down the momentum. But I think the important thing here is to play their own game. We know that GRUT can play incredibly quick, and they're very confident to just move it down the field with a huge huck.
Yeah, you've always got to be cautious as a defender about taking away the big, and nice switch there actually to cover the defender going. It's Van der Weeden. Finds an option underneath. Plug's going to shoot deep, looking to try and blade it towards that far sideline for Janssen. Mason's got position. He's going to stick a hand up and get the block.
Nicely read there by Mason. He saw that from the other side of the field and streamed across. It's nice to have people poaching, and it really just shows when it's done effectively, you can just destroy those big shots. Oh, and that was too close for comfort for Reading, I mean.
Yeah, a little underthrown, and Withers just about got there in time. Nice backhand around for Tobiasevic. Oh, it's going to get tipped on the mark, and it's going to float up towards that far side of the field. Mason's going to make the catch. Nice adjustment there. Finds Kenneth. Is she in bounds? She is. Is she in the end zone? She is as well, and that's another Reading break.
That's two in a row there, Benji.
Very GRUT-like almost, just getting the turn and immediately striking it deep. The mark got a big piece of that put deep, but Mason adjusted nice and early. It went over Steenhuisen's head, and then leading Kenneth into the end zone with that backhand. She's in the air when she catches it. First point of contact with that left foot in the zone, and oh, it's a spicy game now.
Oh, yes. It's a close one, neck and neck. I mean, Reading just need to keep using this momentum that they've just found. What have they done? They've had a few lollies or sweets or something. They've just absolutely stepped it up a notch. They're into 5th gear now.
If I'm GRUT, I'm still not changing that much about my offense, though, because you don't want to stop playing your game. And I think they know that intrinsically this deep game is probably a little bit riskier than working it under. But if that's who you are, go for it and stick with it.
Oh, you're totally right there, Benji. I mean, GRUT know exactly how to play, and I don't think they're going to be worried about any of this right now. They're going to play their own game, which they have been doing this entire time, because it's working for them.
Making a couple of changes, though, to their O-line, bringing in a couple of players across. Iris Lienenga's going to play some offense in Tierates as well. A bit more of a calming presence normally for this GRUT side. Goulart's marked by Kenneth, gets free underneath to start the possession. No throw to Janssen on that far side. Menslever's on the mark, trying to find Van der Weeden as the reset. Floats it out into space for him to catch. Fakes out Artes. He's got him again if he wants him. Or maybe he could have taken it earlier. And oh, Withers is going to get a block, or is he going to get Van der Weeden instead? And that's a foul, no contest. Got there a little, not quite on time, and so still count will reset to 0. Janssen. Throw is low. The wind just pushed it down, a tiny bit of edge, and that was all the wind needed. And so Reading can tie it up here with a break.
An unusual mistake there from GRUT.
Bolton's going to bring it in as the wind really picking up now. Spins to Menslever. Palmer comes underneath, fakes it, and there's going to be a pick. Trying to catch up with Palmer as Rabbits went deep, and he walked Janssen and got in the way. And Rabbits steps on his defender. He chooses to put it instead. He's going to be a bit more patient. There's a swing wide open to Withers. Palmer takes off deep. High release looking for Rabbits. Oh, I thought it was too far, but put those long arms to good use.
That was some ballet moves right there. full extension arms and legs.
Palmer shooting for Kenneth, and there's another break. Reading have tied it up at 9-0. That's 4 on the trot now. Kenneth has made a huge difference since coming on. Been a real energizer for Reading, and Clutch a little shell shock, probably doing the right thing here by taking a timeout. Oh, it looked like Reading were down and out at one stage, but they've found a second win from seemingly out of nowhere. I don't know what was in their water bottles at half-time, maybe a bit of Michael Jordan's secret stuff, but they've come herring out of the blocks this second half. Liam Grant calls for more Space Jam references. And having said that, that reel in by Rabbits was kind of like Michael Jordan with the super long arms getting that dunk, just reached him out for nowhere and snagged it away from Janssen.
I like the difference between you calling that a Michael Jordan reach. I was calling that a ballet move.
I think it's just a different frame of reference.
Yeah. It was beautiful nonetheless, regardless of how you call it. You know what I love
sweet
right now, though, is that GRUT are scared. They were the ones who called that timeout. They're the ones who have just allowed Reading to punish them and let them get 3 points, 4 points in a row. I mean, what do you think they were just saying there in that timeout circle?
Just maybe, I don't know, calm things out a little bit is really their style, but saying we've made a couple of errors, but they're just a couple of errors. We're still, like, we built a 9-5 lead, so we know that we can do it.
We've just had a little message from our friendly mate Lorcan from the Emerald Isle, who's saying more Space Jam references, Benji. Have you got them in your arsenal? I'm sure you do.
I'll have a think. It's been too long since I've seen Space Jam.
Maybe Lorcan can send in a few for us to use, and we'll see if we can weasel them in somewhere. Temperatures are dropping, wind steadily, still very breezy.
Oh, that's yeah, maybe an understatement somewhat. It's definitely breezy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying it's steady. It's not, it hasn't dissipated whatsoever.
Yeah. But I feel like breezy is underselling it. Breezy part's like, it's nice, like the sort of thing you find at a beach, maybe.
I don't know, have you been to the Australian beaches? They get very windy.
I've never been south of the equator.
Oh, Benji, you must go. The ultimate there is out of this world.
But everything there kills you. I'm fine here. Don't worry. Where would I rather be than Windmill? Here's Janssen. Oh, and I don't know whether Rabbit's got a tip on it or whether the throw was just turfed.
That was so uncharacteristic, but Reading now have the first opportunity of the game to take the lead. Big moment here for them.
Gets Withers good up the line. He's going to put it.
Look, put it long, and it didn't have enough on it. Didn't have enough height.
If it just floated for longer, you feel like Rabbits with that long reach could have got there, and Hunter wasn't far away anyway. Randall Whedon will bring it in with Withers on the mark. Gets out nice and wide for that one. Janssen downfield. Oh, run through D from Kenneth. Coulart slowed up a little bit, and again, Kenneth once more has been such a playmaker for this Reading side. You know, they're so happy to have her back in the frame after playing women's last season with Iceni.
Yeah, I saw her playing with Reading women's team at the UK U Tour 1, and she was phenomenal, absolutely their star player that time.
Hunter comes underneath, nice little touch. Feathered flick from Mason. Rabbits go for the reset. Oh, wide, falling over almost from Hunter. Bolton makes the catch inside. Just dish off to Withers. Shooting for Mason, he gets open, loses Ben Orr.
And Reading are in the lead.
10-9. That's 5 in a row. This is some serious spice.
Oh, this is a hot, saucy game. It's like nothing like a jalapeno. It's like a habanero or something. This is like
Naga ghost chili hot right now.
It's a ghost chili spiciness.
Oh, it's just, I love Frisbee, man. I love Windmill. It's amazing. It's so good.
I mean, I love Mix. I mean, you and I, Benji, we're both a huge fan of Mix Ultimate.
Yeah.
right now,
This is my jab.
ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching at home in the comfort, in the warmth of wherever you are, I mean, you've got the best seat in the house because you're watching an absolutely phenomenal game.
Second best seat in the house. No offense to obviously to our ulti.TV crew who are doing a fantastic job here all weekend, but just if you can't be here, there's nowhere. Yeah. I mean, if you can't, they can't. There's no one who can do a better job of bringing it to you. And yeah, obviously watching it in the warm might be slightly preferable. It's not a bit. It's a bit chappy out here.
Chappy.
A bit chappy. So again, GRUT rotating personnel on the O-line, trying to get a simulation that works. With 4 women, hasn't really paid dividends so far this half, so they're going back to 4 guys. Artes catches the ball and sends us to Van der Weeden. Oh, run through D with McNeil! Yasin just slowed up. The throw was on the inside rather than the outside shoulder, and another break chance. Could it be a super 6 in a row? Trying to find.
I don't want to say anything because I really don't want to curse them whatsoever. And Palmer neatly puts that in her pocket and says, "This is my game."
They tried to get an isolation right in that front cone, and I think maybe the defenders in the stack switched off a little bit, focused on the disc, and that allowed Palmer to worm her way free. We see there just defenders turning to look at the disc. And she sees and she notices that, and just a little jab step and comes back towards the front of the end zone, and it's enough to get the separation. And
Reading now with a 2-point lead.
6 on the bounce. What the hell, Reading? Where was this in the first half?
I don't understand. Sometimes teams just take a while to wake up, and all of a sudden here we are. It's so exciting. Reading have just brought the heat.
The mental strength and the heart from this Reading side to show the fight and show the comeback is strong stuff. And now GRUT are in a horrible position where they're not just, it's not just a cut that's bleeding now, it's a wide open gaping wound, and they just cannot stop the blood from coming out. They can't suture this up pretty quickly. It's going to be terminal.
I mean, in this moment now, this is where you see a real team performing, and they have to use their mental strength to come back from this. I mean, they were up so much, and now to be down by 2 points against Reading, it'll be a test of their mental capacity as a team to work well.
Artis is going to shoot deep, looking for Orr. Mason's going to be a step behind in coverage. What a jump in. It's asking the sideline whether he was already in the air. Sideline says he was, and that's a goal. That's one way to stop it.
High jump.
Or a supreme athlete. He's like one of the monsters out there. You just unstoppable physical presence. And we see on the replay, he is definitely in the air when he catches it. And Mason looks around just to confirm and then signals the goal. And no offense to Harry, but that's a covering Ben Orr so tough, and I'm a little surprised.
You can't defend that.
I'm a little surprised it took them so long to bring Ben Orr over to the O-line after giving up all those breaks. And Artis to Orr, it's been a connection that we've seen on for so long. And if in doubt, go back to Old Faithful.
The difference here is that Reading need to pass between their players, you know, a fair few times. GRUT can pass twice and score. They have that confidence. They're not worried about these wins.
So here's something we haven't seen in a while. The Reading O-line. Ball is flat. It's going to land probably just about the brick mark. Bolton picks up. We dish to Godbold. Haven't seen for a few points since to see how warm this O-line are after taking a bit of a break. Hunter comes underneath, throws a little bit low, but she crouches down a little bit to make that catch. Finds Byford on the open side. Looking downfield, a little bit cluttered. Godbold. Jazz goes back for a reset. Too far. Oh, nice snatch from Anya Godbold. Scintillating stuff. Here's Naden coming underneath.
Had to lay out for it, and that was stunning.
Tries to squeeze it to Godbold. There's going to be a pick in the stack downfield. Whether it affected that throw or not, I'm not sure. They're just going to have a little discussion here. It's good because it's going to give me a chance to get a little bit of a breather. Phew.
That was some intense play.
Godbold checks it in. Swing for Bolt is low, and he's going to save it as well. Oh, Reading are not making this easy on themselves, are they? Looking for a high release backhand to Naden. Byfus is going to just about get free on the open side. Thinks about jamming it to McNeil. It's going to look for a reset. There's not one available. Tries to squeeze it into Godbolt, gets beyond Rouse, and it's going to make the catch for the Reading goal, and they open up the 2-point margin once again at 12-10.
Such a well-deserved point there from Godbolt. She really pushed herself in that point, had to lay out for the disc. She deserves that score.
Couple of points, he got pretty dicey there. Let's not beat around the bush.
They certainly didn't make it easy for themselves, as you said, Benji. You're throwing discs that are just about skimming the grass. They're just repeating each other as well. Just, you know, one really low throw after the other. But they still have the lead.
And you like that they see these throws go down and they don't give up on them. They try and rescue them. And that's, if you go for these things, a lot of the time you can keep them up. Until the disc hits the ground, it's still alive. And we saw it there. Just doesn't matter if it's just a centimetre off the ground. If you can just get your hand under it and scoop it up.
That's the beauty of Frisbee as well, isn't it, Benji? Until that disc is safely in the hands of somebody or completely on the ground, even if it goes out of bounds, sometimes it comes back in. You really can't know for sure, and that's why we always say, catch your Ds. That's the moral of the story there, because, you know, we've seen time and time again players being able to grab a disc off the, you know, a disc just being dinged.
Tips and fumbles and things like that. Rabbits with a blading backhand pull. It's going to be short, and GRUT just going to field it on the hop. Janssen comes underneath. Mason lurking deep to stop a shot going up. Gets in coverage. Oh, Kenneth was thinking about the run through again. Kulas is going to put it up. Rabbits is going to try and come across. Not going to get there in time. Palmer was in coverage on Dam, and the throw was right on the money. An absolute peach. Stick that in your fruit bowl. Oh, that's the GRUT we know and love.
I mean, they crammed that in between two Reading defenders. And
big throws into tight windows, and when it works, it's so much fun. And they finally found their feet again after that just barrage of breaks from Reading. Now, I say I'm on the edge of the seat here. The way the scaffolding works, it kind of is. Hillary's like literally just perching over the scaffold, trying to get as close as she can to the action.
I'm literally, I'm so excited with this game. It's thrilling to watch. I have to be so close to it.
You know we have to thank for this, don't you?
Windmill.
And?
Ulti.TV.
And? The algorithm. The almighty algorithm. Hallelujah. All hail to the almighty algorithm.
The algorithm controls everything.
I mean, to be fair, all the algorithm does is pick the games. It doesn't pick which fields they go on. That's our live streaming crew and commentary crew, and Tim and Elwyn back in the tent, have a little consultation process. Morrison catches the ball and it just goes through Gumby's hands.
He just watched that fly away, really, just forgot about the game, forgot that there was a Frisbee coming his way.
If Artis can punch it in here for GRUT, they're going to tie things up at 12. It's going to take the reset off to start things. Artis gets it back, throw a little bit fluttery there, not really a problem. Thinks about the break side. Little switch in the handler set. Artis goes up line, beats Gunby. Trying to force it in. See what he can do. Looking around. Thinks about the big one. Oh, he's going to put a saucy scuba up. Oh, and McNeil goes over the top of Ort. It just hung for too long, and Ort was underneath it, and he couldn't jump directly up to get it. And McNeil went up nice and early to knock it away. So break chance comes to naught for GRUT. Gumby can pick up. I wonder if he's thinking deep. Oh, he definitely is. Looking for Byford. If it comes back in bounds, it won't. It might have done. Well, the flag's not there, and you can see Gunby hangs his head. I thought maybe he was going to try and put it inside out, get it down the middle of the field, but tried to try and play it back, made it back in, and he just hit the flags, hovering on that hammock hangout over there. Swing is going to pop up a little bit, but not a problem. Reeled in anyway. Here's Ort. Finds Artis up the line. Byford begins to peel up, but fades away when he knows he won't get there in time. A little bit of a travel there from Artes is corrected. Swing, and once more there's a pick downfield. Claire Dunn was rather free and there's that reset. I don't know if that's where the pick coda was on the subsequent pass. Oh no, it's Gigi Morrison who's picked. She's going to retain a little bit of position there. She knows she wouldn't have got the disc. So Dunn will keep possession for GRUT. Fakes the flick, looking into the end zone. Finds Dam coming open side, big fakes. Siort trying to leak out the back. Big swing around, looking downfield. Simple swing to Artes, playing conservatively. They know how much this break would mean if they could tie things up. Looking for Dam in the end zone. That's the break. We're tied back up at 12 apiece.
It's neck and neck, Benji.
Level pegging, neck and neck. There's just, this game's had so many twists and turns, and you would not bet against there perhaps being some more. Going to see it on the replay. Just nice calm offense there from GRUT. And Artis was going up line and didn't need him because Dam's cut to the end zone and got free on that open side and tied up at 12s. Oh, what a way to end the last mixed round of the day here at Windmill in Amsterdam. So we've probably got about 10 minutes before the cap goes on. And that means that we're probably going to get all the way to 15 here, which is exactly how it feels this should end. What a game we have here. Can't wait to see how it turns out. Thanks very much for watching coverage of Windmill. Brought to you by the crew at ulti.TV, Benji Reese.
And Hilary Humes.
Just kind of in disbelief and in shock a little bit here at this game.
I know, Benji, I mean, you said we were going to see a huge showdown here. And before half, I wasn't sure how this game was going to end. I thought it was going to be GRUT taking it very comfortably. But Reading have just turned around and said they're going to write their own stories here today. They're going to show us how they play Ultimate in the UK. So
whoever pulled that for GRUT clearly had their Weetabix this morning, because that went right out the back of the end zone. And Godbub will bring it in at the brick, which is much preferable to bring it in the back of the end zone. Gumby starting downfield. This is a big throwing option off that first pass. Hunter now on that far sideline. Tries to take the shot. Godball's there. She's got Royce beat deep and gonna make the catch. Comfortable Reading a hold. That's what they needed after giving up a break. And 13-12 to Reading, the current score. That's good. Just gonna take the air out of Chris a little bit there. Didn't really have much chance on any of those throws.
Yeah, that's right, Benji. I mean, Reading just really punished it. They were moving nice and quickly. They've really just found those connections so well in their second half. It's a completely different game if you look at the first half and you compare it to now. It's just a wonder what they're saying in those halftime circles. But whatever it is, it was working.
Certainly was. So teams warming up below us for the next game on this field, as we mentioned, is Yaka versus Atletico. That's going to be a lot of fun. And behind us, we've got Randler versus Chak. Rabbits will pull for Reading. Go for a outsiding backhand towards the end zone. It's going to land a few meters shy. Van der Weyden now, and it's going to be a zone look from Reading, just throwing something different at the GRUT offense, seeing if they can slow them down, just give them something else to think about, maybe just flash windows open and close them again. There's a swing available if they want it. There's also a dump to Minard. Bring her in and then take the around to Van der Weyden. It's a nice pass through. Thinks about the dish off. Does Janssen and Walt Janssen now running a little bit of give-go with Van der Weyden. Just it's tense, you can feel it, it's palpable in the air.
Yeah, it's very quiet on the sidelines. They're not really yelling too much, and I think that's a reflection of how tense it is. I mean, these points, they matter so much now, don't they?
Menard to Janssen, and you can see they're thinking about these bigs. They've got Mason dragged deep, so they can't come under and get any overthrows. So far, this is patient, grinding stuff, just matriculating the disc down the field, not taking any big shots so far, and all that throw might bump up a little, but it's comfortably caught by Janssen as she finds Kulatz.
And this is what we saw at the beginning of the game from GRUT. They just comfortably moved it between their handlers, didn't rush it too much. They enjoyed the moment, they just took their time.
It's going to be a little stoppage here as Boom came through the cup, just got a little bit of a knock and a collision with Kenneth. He's going to be all right though. And this brings the disc back in. Van der Weeden has it and immediately finds Janssen and now Menard, and they're just very patient at the moment. They've gained yards down the field, so they don't want to lose it by just jamming it into a window that's not quite there. There's a swing available in plenty of space if Menard can just find it. Looks it a bit later now with the Storcam rising, finds a shot towards that far side. There's so much space towards our cameras and towards our commentary position. If they can just find a way to crack it open, or
Blade
Adventurous Blade over the top. It's too high for Godbolt to get there. Rabbits couldn't get there in time. He's going to go for the hammer. Oh, nice snag. Janssen dumps off to Kulatz. Palmer was there, but again, utilising the mismatches on these overheads. Oh, and tried to squeeze it in to Janssen. Palmer did just enough to get a hand and a fingertip in there to get the turn. Reading can open up their 2-point advantage again. They worked all the way down the field and just at the final moment couldn't get it done. Rams is going to put it deep looking for Kenneth.
Oh, Kenneth is there. Can she get it? Oh, a one-handed grab.
Steps and separation, got it with one hand. Resets. Palmer's not just in. Mason's going to come to the front of the end zone for the goal. The Reading break. They're 14-12 up now.
They're on the doorsteps of getting points cap, closing this game. That was a beautiful point there from Reading. Very nice.
Just stayed patient, stuck with it all the way to the end zone and just tried to squeeze it in. Maybe a little bit impatient there from GRUT.
And that was great work from Bex Palmer in the defensive options and just getting that hand block on there. Getting the assist as well and passing it to Mason, who just comfortably walked it into the end zone. Kenneth really did all the legwork, didn't she there? Just had to do that long cut, gaining so many meters. Yeah,
Rabbit's knowing more as a deep receiver as you kind of would probably expect with someone of his stature, but shows that he can put it as well. Just pounded it deep and was a nice snatch by Kenneth with her outstretched left hand.
I suppose one of the things with Reading is, as I was saying before, they like to move it a lot through their team, and that's actually a really nice reflection of how they play. They trust every single one of their players to do what they need. GRUT have a different style. I mean, when they're up against zone, they'll easily pass it very comfortably between their handlers and just take their time. But when they're up against a single-man coverage off defense, they will just easily pump it straight into the end zone.
And again, just even if Reading never pull out that zone again, it did what it wanted to, and it got a turn, and they didn't give GRUT a chance to get it back. Here's Boom for GRUT. Maybe thinking about the around to Dam. Artis is wide open. He's going to take that option. Fakes a flick. Dam's going to get free on that backhand side. Continuation down to Kulatz. Or takes off deep and then strong plant to come under. Getting a bit cluttered in the handler space. Artis comes through in front of Van der Weeden. Bolton's quite loose on the mark. Forces the swing to Boom. Dish back to Van der Weeden. There's a dump available again if he wants it, but they're trying to determine to get some movement going downfield. Reading just pushing them backwards at the moment. Of course, happy to keep possession, but Reading won't mind the loss of yards and field position. Oh, and
oh my goodness!
Came flying through. Whether he got a touch on it, I don't know.
Can you believe there's a turnover?
Just did enough to flash in there, and it's the second time that Galartz has not been able to make a catch, just with someone come flying through into the lane, a little bit of phantom defense, and landed quite hard. He's going to be replaced by Gunby, knowing that obviously he's arguably their best thrower, and he could not had his finest game necessarily in a Reading shirt, but he's always potent, always powerful, and put it on the athletic walk. Janssen, Gumby's going to try and take it all in one, looking for Withers if he can track it into the end zone, and he makes the grab for the Reading win!
And Reading take this game with one shot!
They were 8-5 down at half, and they won the second half 10-4 to win 15-12. What a game!
That was the best game to watch today. Hands down, that was the most exciting thing I have seen. What a comeback from Reading.
Absolute breakneck, hair-raising stuff.
Just teaching the young'uns how to play. I mean, they were the reigning champions of Windmill from last year, but Reading said they just chose not to let that get them down. Incredible stuff here this afternoon. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to ulti.TV for bringing us this stream. Benji, what have we got coming up after this?
So we've got Yaka versus Atletico on this field in the women's division. Open division action behind us between Chak and Ranelagh. I think I've got to stay and do another game, which is a shame because I could really do with a beer right now.
I think I can go and sort that out for you.
What a hero. Thanks so much for watching what's been a thrilling contest. I've been Benjamin Rees.
And I've been Hilary Humes. Thank you.
Final score in this game, GRUT 12, Reading 15.
ulti.TV